Another episode of the Cooking Spot. Today we are going to make roasted chicken. I am Chef Ruben.
I'm Chef Fernanda.
This is Chef Fernanda. Right? We're going to do roasted chicken two ways. Right? One way is going to be kind of your traditional roasted, and another one is going to be butterflied or spatchcock. Right? Fernanda is going to show us how to do roasted chicken. I'm going to do the spatchcock. Right? If you're in here at any point in time, if you have some questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Feel free to ask out loud, and we will get to those questions as they come in. Okay? So Fernanda's going to start us off with the roasted chicken.
Hello, everyone. First thing you need to get your chicken out a little bit before time so it gets room temperature. Why do it like that? Well, first of all, it will retain more moisture inside and doesn't get dry as easily. And second, you don't want to put in an oven a really cold chicken. Why? Because also will lower the temperature in your oven and you want it to be better at that. Second, you get it nice and dry. So I got my chicken. It's been out for about 30 minutes. It's now room temperature, but still cold enough that it won't create bacteria. You're gonna need a tray so you can rub your ingredients, put some water, and to also truss it. So you need butcher's twine. I'm gonna be using about, I wanna say, a little less than 3 feet. So
what's trussing mean?
Trussing, it's when you tie your chicken so retain a nice bundle, and that way it cooks more evenly.
Oh, okay.
So, got my string already cut up. I'm gonna put it on the side. Then, I like putting butter in between the skin. That way also gives a nice buttery flavor and also remains a little more moist. So, got a couple dots of butter right now. So, I'm gonna put it in between the skin and the meat. So, just gonna get your hands in there. Put a little bit piece of butter. Then the other side. Alright. There's a very thin membrane in it, so try not to break the membrane. So just push it in there. Alrighty.
Well, that looks good.
Nice and buttery. Hope you all like butter. Second thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some lemon in my cavity. I already checked that my cavity is not full of giblets or internal organs. And this because it'll give it nice flavor to it. So get your hands in there, put some lemon rinds. I use about 1 lemon.
So it's gonna be a little lemony?
Little lemony, yes. And also we'll balance out with my herbs, which is thyme, and thyme and lemon goes together awesomely. I'm gonna put some aromatics. This is actually a tippity top of the leeks that were used. So if you don't want to use the good part of the leeks, you can also use the tippity tops. So you're gonna put your hand in there. Try not to.
Culinary terms, tippity top.
Tippity top.
You
yes.
only learn it here at South Texas College.
It's Chef Ruben's favorite word.
That's right.
All right. A little bit there. The leeks will give nice aroma to your meat. All right, so next, I'm gonna do a little bit of more herbs. This is parsley. I'm also gonna put it in the cavity. As you know, parsley has a great aroma. All right. Now that my cavity is full, I'm gonna truss it. Again, I'm gonna tie it out to a nice bundle. So you're gonna first start on the top side. You're gonna reach till you can put your arms together, kind of like that. All right, make sure it's in there. And then you're gonna go down towards your thighs. You're gonna do a nice round in each leg. That way when I put it together, it's gonna tie it out nice and easy. All right. Make sure you keep your skin covering your breasts. So, there you go. reach there. Make sure you make a nice tight, and then just regular knot works.
Poor chicken's all tied up.
Leave the chicken alone. Likes to be tied up. All right, second knot. There you go. If you got some extra, just cut it off. It won't catch on fire, but why give it a try, right? All right, so now my seasonings. I have some olive oil. I know you probably see, okay, more fat. Well, the olive oil will help create a nice crust on the outside, while the butter, it will give nice flavor to the meat. So first, let's do some garlic. Make sure you rub it, kind of like you're touching it. And your herbs. And at the end, you're gonna do your oil. So, what am I missing? My seasoning, salt and pepper. Make sure you go high. Don't do a little tiny pinch. Put enough, that way the inside also gets nice and salty. And some pepper. All right, now my oil. Be gentle, make sure you cover it all. Turn it around, make sure it's nice, shiny. All right, now that you're ready, you're gonna put it into a roasting pan. I did a makeshift. You can use also a sheet tray with a rack on the bottom. This is because you want the hot air circulating to create a better crust. All right, so we're gonna turn that into the oven. I have my oven right now at 350 degrees. And we're gonna let it roast for about 1 hour. The rule of thumb is about 15 minutes per pound. This chicken is about 5.5 pounds. So about 1 hour and 10 minutes, 20 minutes, without forgetting our resting time.
All right.
Now Chef Ruben's gonna show you the...
Now I'm gonna jump in. Get some of the stuff out of the way. Salt and pepper is what I'm gonna use. And then I have my bird. I got a knife. I have some shears. And I have a couple paper towels. A little bit of olive oil, specifically garlic oil. And then a giant pan, right, that everything's gonna fit into. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down this chicken. I am going to lay it nice and flat. The fact that it's gonna be nice and flat, it's going to be able to cook a lot quicker than a whole roasted chicken, right? Chef Fernando mentioned that it's gonna take about 1 hour and 15 or so. Spatchcock chicken is probably gonna take closer to like 45 minutes, right? It's also really, really good on the grill, right? So the spatchcock chicken that I put in earlier is ready to go. So I'm gonna kind of show you that first. It's been in the oven for about 35-ish minutes. And let's see if we can get an overhead shot on this. And I just want you to know, I'm gonna burn myself a little bit before you. Okay. So this is it right here. Face down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to carefully flip it over. It's just about finished cooking. I should have some nice browning on the front. And I just want to finish browning and get it nice and crispy. All right? Oh, look at that. That's making me happy. I hope you can smell it. Right? So I'm gonna go back into the oven and I'll pull it out in about 10 minutes. Okay. So how did we get there? This is gonna be how we got there. I got this going. I have a whole chicken. I'm gonna get it out of the bowl. Try to get some of that excess chicken juice. Don't need that. And if you see, I put it face down in my pan, on my cutting board, I'm sorry. Because what I wanna focus on is the spine. That spine is gonna get removed. There's how I'm gonna do it. Right. 2 ways to do it. One way is gonna be with your knife. I'm gonna try to do it a little bit where you can actually see it on the camera. Let me see could we zoom out a little bit? There we go. Okay, so knife goes right down the side of the spinal cord. Okay. All the way to the bottom. Opens it right up. Right. Option number 2, some kitchen shears. Right. So this other side, I'm going to do the same thing, but with kitchen shears. Right. If you don't feel comfortable doing it with a knife, it can happen with kitchen shears. When you get down to the thigh, it might be a little tough, but it'll still come out. Right. This bone right here could be used for stocks, could be used for soups, could be used for many things. Okay. So now that we got that done, it opens up, but it doesn't lay flat. So one more step. Right. Here, it doesn't lay flat. There's a little bone down here, little keel bone, which is going to be up here by the breast. A little piece of cartilage right there. Right. You can either cut through it. Right. Once when you cut through it, it'll open right up. Right. So now this is nice and wide open. I can lay it nice and flat. Something like this, you can roast as is. Right. You want to kind of have your, I guess let me flip it over here so you can kind of get a better look at it. Right. Thighs, zoom out a little bit, right there. Right. Thighs kind of with knees inward, it's nice and flat. Chicken breast, kind of give it CPR a little bit. Make sure it's coming to life. Nice and flat. Wings, if they're hanging out like this, waving at you, they have a chance of burning. So let it be all cool and relaxed, right? Hands behind the back, and it can go into roast just like this. Oh, this one doesn't want to go. Being stubborn. There we go. Something like that can go right into the oven. I'm gonna do a little different. I'm gonna get a big old pan, and I'm gonna put it into the oven ahead of time. I'm gonna preheat this pan so it can be nice and hot. Okay. I am going to start on one side. This back side right here, let me get my hands washed, and I am going to put a little bit of seasoning. Right. As far as the seasoning that I'm gonna use, a little bit of salt and pepper, and that's it. I'm gonna use a little bit of garlic oil that I made earlier, just to make sure that I have a little bit of garlic flavor and that I have a little bit of crunch. I can't say crunch, but I figured it out. A little bit of salt, more than a little bit, right? Think about the size of the bird. It's going to be pretty large, and I'm not gonna be able to season the inside. I can just season the outside. So put a lot of salt on it.
Aggressive.
Be aggressive. See, there's the word. Finally you jump in to help out. So a little bit of salt right there. Okay. Now on this side, the skin, very important. I want to make sure that it gets nice and crispy. The way that I make sure that it gets nice and crispy is that I pat it down, get it nice and dry. The drier this is, the crispier it's going to become. Right? So this is it right here. Right? Does anybody else out there like roasted chicken? Everybody's all quiet out there. What's going on? Are you asleep?
Apparently.
Still crickets. That's okay.
Need a little snus in there.
All right. I'm used to talking to myself. Questions, comments? Can we get the recipe? Salt and pepper. What was your recipe?
Mine.
I'm sorry, what was that? Now that it's nice and dry, a little bit of oil. I'm gonna kind of drizzle a little bit of the oil on top. Like I said, this is just a regular olive oil that's infused with a little bit of garlic. I got myself a little brush. And I am going to paint this bird. This oil is going to help everything crisp up, and it's also going to help catch the seasoning, the salt and pepper that I'm going to add to it right now. I seasoned one side, now I'm seasoning this side. Again, just salt and pepper. Depending on the size of the bird, this is about a 5-pound chicken, so it's a little on the bigger side. So I'm going to be generous with the salt. Same thing with the pepper. How do you do your bird? How do you do your chicken? Do you use grill it? Do you use roast it? Do you use bake it? Crickets again.
All of the above.
All of the above. One of the main reasons that we wanted to do roasted chicken is because we think it gets a little bit of a bad rap. People just think that it's basic. I don't think it's basic at all. Right? So now that I have this nice and oiled, I'm gonna bring out my pan, which should be nice and hot. I'm gonna put it on this sheet so it doesn't get burned, so I don't burn myself. Chicken's gonna go in. Be careful when you put it in there. It's gonna sizzle, it's gonna be hot, and this is gonna go into the oven. I'm gonna get my hands washed, and I'm gonna pull out the other one. We can kind of see a before and after. You want to make sure you get your hands washed regularly when you're working with chicken. Last thing you want to do is contaminate. So we took a look at how it looked like when it went in. I want to see a little close-up on this when it comes out.
Top.
How's this? It looks very, very happy. When your chicken comes out of the oven, it's still hot, it's still cooking, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spin it over here to the side, and I am going to let it rest. Right? Make sure the handle's out so it doesn't burn anybody. Right? Get this area sanitized. Right? One of the biggest issues or one of the biggest problems that people have when they're doing a lot of cooking, working with meat, working with chicken, is they cut into it too early. Right now, the insides are boiling. If you kind of zoom in overhead, where are we at? Let's see if I can. Right there. You see that little sizzle that's going on right there? There's a whole lot of boiling going on in this bird.
Watch out.
Right? So you want to make sure that that kind of boiling on the inside stops and all the juices kind of go back to where they belong. When that happens, you'll be able to cut into it and it's not going to spill the juice all over your cutting board. Right? When it spills on your cutting board, there's no use of it. I'd rather have the juice in the chicken. Right? Did you flip the chicken while it was cooking in the oven? I pulled it out after about 35 minutes, and I flipped it, right? It started off skin side down, 35 minutes, nice hot oven. What was it, 450? After the 35 minutes, I flipped it up, and this is how it came out, right? The skin right here is nice and crispy. Some recipes tell you to cover it. Covering it is going to let it sweat, and it's going to take away the crispiness of your crust. Right? So I'm just going to let it sit here over to the side. Right? It's a big bird, so it takes a good maybe 10 to 15 minutes before you want to go in and actually carve it. Okay? So, what is it?
The chicken is well cooked without a thermometer.
I got a thermometer right here. Let's find out. 165. Oh, I gotta turn it on first. For some reason, things work better when they're on. That's what I've learned in my many years.
Also remember the breast and the thigh and legs, they cook at different temperatures because one is white meat and the leg and thigh are dark meat. So by the time the breast is done, the thigh and leg are not gonna be fully cooked. So you gotta check both, not just one.
Look at that.
That's why a lot of times it tends to overcook
So I'm gonna go
the
back
breast.
into the oven. Somebody was looking out for me right there. Who was that? Alma. Nice looking out. Other questions? As long as the temperature is 165, it is fully cooked and safe, yes. Oh, that's what we said. I was reiterating. What if they don't have a thermometer? Right? You want to look at the juices. The juices should be going clear. Usually when it's undercooked chicken, the juices are going to come out a little white, a little opaque. Right? Another thing you can do is check on the joints. Right? As it cooks, the joints get nice and soft. So I'm gonna put this so it can be in camera, because this looks pretty.
So I had one chicken pre-done. It's about coming out. It still needs about 5 to 8 minutes to rest, so all the juices come back to its original place. But if you can zoom in a little bit, you can see the color. It's nice, crispy, golden brown. There you go. There you go.
There we go.
All right, so golden brown, that's what you want to get. I checked my joints to check for temperature. It was about 160, so by the time it finished resting, it's gonna go back to 165, which allows my breast to still be juicy and my joints to be actually cooked.
Right.
So in 8 minutes, I'll show you how to
We'll go to
carve it. There's different ways to carve it. I'm gonna show you the one that I like the best, but maybe other time during class I'll show you the other way. Kind of like the ones that you do in Thanksgiving. All right. Any questions?
What other spices do you recommend using besides salt and pepper?
Paprika works very well.
You
with
like spice?
chicken,
Cayenne?
right? Cayenne, sage. Poultry likes sage.
Oh yeah.
Rosemary. If you're a fan of rosemary, you can use that.
Garlic.
Lemon.
Tarragon works too. Lemon or any
Tarragon.
citrus goes very well.
Oregano, kind of like some Greek chicken. Oregano, olive oil. marjoram, all that good stuff.
What's the difference between this and a very convenient $7.99 rotisserie chicken from KG?
It is one thing, love.
Better.
Oh, and it's better too.
That's a key
But-
word.
Love, right? You took that time and effort. I'm telling you, chicken gets a bad rap. People don't think much about it. They're like, ooh, steak, ooh, everything else. But chicken keeps us fed. It's super easy, it's inexpensive, and it's very easy to make, right? Like I said, as far as me, I use salt, pepper, I use olive oil. You can get as creative as you want. You can get nice and simple. The only thing that matters is that you treat the chicken well, right? You cook it properly, and it's gonna be delicious.
It's very versatile, so you can try a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
different flavors, and it's always gonna taste differently.
Greatest thing about roasting chicken is when I roast chicken, I make it a bunch. I make a bunch at a time because leftovers is awesome. This can turn into enchiladas tomorrow. It can turn into a turkey sandwich. It's going to turn into a turkey sandwich.
I was gonna say,
It's gonna
that's
turn into a
chicken.
sandwich, right? See?
Chicken
That was-
salad.
that's magic
There you
right
go.
there. Right? It's going to turn into just about anything. Right? Some crispy tacos, little flautas.
Flautas.
See, I'm getting happy.
There you go. Sopes, you got the chicken already on top.
Sopes.
A lot of people like to boil their chicken for like all the Mexican recipes. I actually like roasted better than boiled.
Yes.
Gives nice flavor. That caramelization or mild reaction that is happening on top will give nice flavor to any dish. Any
Other questions?
questions?
When I get chicken, I always get it whole, right? And then we can kind of break it down into all the different parts. One of the main reasons also that this chicken got truss is to make sure that everything cooks evenly, right? We have dark meat, which are in the legs. We have white meat, which is in the breast, and they tend to cook a little bit differently, right? The legs tend to cook a little slower. The breast tends to cook a little bit quicker. Right? There's not that much fat in the breast, so as it cooks, it can dry out. Some people think, right, I don't like chicken breast because it's too dry. Right? Chicken breast isn't too dry. We make it too dry. Right? So trussing it up is going to kind of give it a little bit of a protective barrier, just to make sure it doesn't get hit with that intense heat and it doesn't dry out. Right? So
Yeah.
trussing it up is definitely going to help with that. Right? With a spatchcocking that I did, when you have it nice and flat and everything's uniform, it tends to cook uniform. So again, that also helps that the chicken breast does not get overcooked. Is it time to carve?
It's time.
All right. Hurry up,
Alright.
because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten.
When you're passing it to your cutting board, remember it's still hot, so don't try to go with your hands, or maybe if you can handle the heat, but you can use spatulas, you can do your tongue, and just grab from the inside of the cavity and just help it out a little bit. I know I've seen a lot of people trying to handle it. It's very hot. Even if it doesn't look, if you don't hear the sizzling, it's still hot. All right, first thing you gotta do is take that butcher's twine away. So make sure you take it all off. You don't want people eating this piece of twine. All right, so the way I like facing the breast towards me. Like we do fabricating, we're gonna cut first the breast to one side, second the breast to the side, then we're gonna divide the actual limbs. So. Alright. So, got it to one side. Remember, there's a bone right here. You gotta follow it around. You don't wanna serve that to anyone. Alright. Got my breast right here. I don't know if you can zoom in, but there's still a lot of juices right here. You don't want a dry breast. All right, so for those who like the wings,
That's me.
and me too. I don't like white meat. I'd rather have the darker.
You three?
All right,
There's
so
only
we
two
got
wings.
3 contenders here with the dark meat. So we're gonna fight for it later on. All right, you got the wing right here. Then you do the second breast. Right. All right, got the second breast. Now we got for the wing. So just find the joint, go through it. Second wing. Last but not least, let's do the tight on the leg. So, you're gonna, with your knife, kind of separate a little bit here. Right in the middle, you're gonna find the joint.
You rotate the
And
pan
when you
while
see the
cooking.
joint, just go through it.
Did you rotate the pan while cooking? No, correct?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I rotated once,
Okay.
half the way through, I rotate it, because you want even. A bit of dark meat. Then you go to the other
Alma
side.
says she wants some.
Who wants some?
Get in line, Alma.
All right, come to school and we'll save you some. If Chef Nadia leaves you some. Just kidding, she left, so. All right. And, hold on. There you go.
I'm gonna pick through these bones right here.
All right. Nice and clean. You got your leg, your thigh, a little bit extra meat, 2 breasts, so. All right. Then let's cut the breasts because a lot of people like slices. Now you got it full, it's easier to slice. All right. Right.
I like the breast and wing.
Let's do the other one so you can try it. There you go. Now we try it.
Now we try it.
Go ahead.
I want to cut mine.
All right, so let's cut yours and then we'll try both.
All right. Then we'll taste test.
See who's better?
Well, I already know who's the better.
Mine.
Sorry to break it to you, but those are fighting words. I don't care. I'm not scared of her. So I'm gonna. Oh, see, look at that. Did you see that? Oh.
See,
Look at
he
this.
lost points just
Look.
for that.
No, look at how I'm gonna carve it. Ah. That's happy time right there. All right. I'm gonna carve it nice and simple. Legs come off. All right. Don't even have to carve them. Oh, I just ripped that piece of the breast. I'm sorry. This right here, I'm just gonna cut it in half. Shh. Right there. I want a hearty piece. Right? This right here, this is for Alma right here. All right? She said the breast and wing. Right there. Zoom out. And you can tell, right? One of the platings is designed to share, right? And one of them is like, no, it's all mine. Right? And then I can just say, what? I just ate 2 pieces, right? Right. Any questions?
Yeah, we have a question. Would it be correct to consider an hour cooking by a pound of chicken / turkey rate ratio?
Well, it definitely the bigger the animal is, the bird is, the longer it's gonna take to cook.
True. It's a more or less ratio. Don't base it just on that. So for a chicken like this one, a 5-pounder, 15 minutes per pound should do the trick, but don't guide yourself in just that. Invest in a thermometer. They're not super expensive ones. For turkeys, if I'm correct, it's between 20 to 25 minutes per pound ish. Like I said, don't base yourself on that. Just use it as a guide of
What she said.
what I said. He tasted mine, he said it's awesome, so I win, right?
No, I haven't tasted mine yet. I'm just gonna grab a whole piece and just put it on, just like that.
So you're waiting for the cameras to turn on?
I didn't want to chew in front of the camera.
So just by him choosing mine first, it makes it
It's
that
'cause it was
mine is
closer.
better. So I win the
I'm gonna cut a
chicken
little
combo
piece, but I
here.
don't want to just grab the whole.
All right, any question, guys? All right, Veronica's gonna make this awesome chickens. Awesome.
Right.
Let us know how it turns out. Not
What
fair.
else?
Are we hungry too? Oh, chef, you can come down and taste it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, any other questions, comments?
That was magical right there.
That's not. He had to make a big fuss about it.
So good.
Alrighty.
I'm sorry, let me finish chewing.
All right. Anyone else? Comment? Question?
All right, I'm back.
He's back.
Not fair.
She's hungry.
Well, we'll send you a plate up there right now. All right. If there's not any questions, thank you for joining us this week. I hope you do try out this chicken. All right. It's super easy. It's not that difficult. It's pretty pain-free. Get it nice and seasoned. Get it into the oven. Pull it out later. Right. It's not labor-intensive. And just in the, how long have we been in here? 40 minutes, and we made 2 chickens. Right? We can feed, what is that, a person and a half, 2 people?
Oh, I think more. Depending who you're
See?
feeding. I eat very small amounts, so
Okay,
it
okay.
depends.
So, well, yeah, person and a half.
Yeah, I'm Well, I mean, depends. My brothers will eat one whole by themselves, so it depends who. But 5 pounds, yeah, it should be
Yes.
2 people, 3 maybe.
Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, super tasty. Leftovers can be used for tons of different things. The humble roasted chicken, very tasty.
And also the carcass that left from mine, you can also make a dark stock, dark chicken stock. I've seen people doing it, and it is actually pretty tasty because it already has the caramelization. So you can also do the carcass.
The bones from mine, you can use as a handle.
Really. All right, guys.
right.
Questions, comments,
Nothing
concerns?
before we go?
Nothing else.
Last call. All right. Thank you for joining us. We will be back on the 15th with another cooking spot. If there's something that you want to see us do, if there's something you're curious about, feel free to send us a message on Facebook. A bird is the word.
There's
is.
the word. There you
That
go.
is.
Chef Nadia, put our song.
No, we're gonna skip that part. Right?
She wants to skip the song part.
But again, thank you for joining us. Have yourselves a great day.
Yeah.